the special education process, part of the IDEA Accessibility Project, created by Advocates for Justice and Education and funded by the DC Developmental Disabilities Council. So, what is the special education process? It is an 8-step process to getting your child the services and support they need to thrive and reach their educational goals. We will break down the 8 steps throughout this video series, giving you a better overview of the special education process. So, to start, what is special education? Special education is a basket of services available to students to support them in reaching their learning goals and full educational potential. These services can be extra time, occupational therapy, one-on-one support, small group work, virtual or alternative schoolwork, and more. Being involved in special education does not mean that you are not on the high school or diploma track. It also does not mean that you will necessarily be in a separate or segregated learning environment. Each eligible child will be evaluated, and the school-based team will decide what methods will be most effective for that child's academic and developmental goals. So, how does the special education process begin? The first step is called Child Find. The public school agency is required to identify, locate, and evaluate children who have a disability or are suspected of having a disability and who may be in need of special education. Even if the student is passing from grade to grade, do not attend school, are homeschooled, or attend private school, they can be identified to receive special education services. A referral for evaluation may be made by the parents or legal guardians, a child who is between the ages of 18 and 22, this is a self-referral, an employee of the public school agency or other child-serving agency, or a staff member of the public school agency who has knowledge of the child. Once a child has been identified, the school must request formal consent for evaluation. A parent or guardian must give their written consent before a child can be evaluated. The school the child is attending or their neighborhood school must provide the parent with the necessary forms to complete when the parent requests an evaluation. Once the parent submits the written request and consent for evaluation, the public school agency has 60 days from that date to evaluate the child. And finally, it's time for the initial evaluation to begin. Following the formal request and consent for evaluation, the multidisciplinary team must meet to review existing data and information on the child and identify what evaluations or assessments are needed. We'll go over who's on the multidisciplinary team in our initial evaluation video. The public school agency must not use just a single procedure or measure as the sole basis for determining whether a child has a disability and determining the educational needs of the child. It must ensure that a full and individual evaluation is conducted for each child being considered for special education and related services, and must evaluate the child in all areas of suspected disability and parents' areas of concern. There are several types of evaluations that may need to be completed, including a psychoeducational analysis of cognitive and academic performance, clinical and psychological tests that evaluate social and emotional status, occupational and physical therapy tests, which look at motor abilities, medical evaluations, reviewing physical, vision, hearing, psychiatric, and neurological statuses, speech and language tests looking at communication, vocational assessments identifying occupational interests and skills, and there may be additional tests not listed here. Each evaluator must draft a written report describing the results of the test and recommendations. Parents must get a copy of the evaluations no less than 5 business days before the multidisciplinary team meets to review. Parents may request an independent educational evaluation at public expense if they disagree with the evaluation from the school. For more information on each of these steps, check out our other videos in the IDEA Accessibility Project. Steps 4 through 8 are in our next video, What is Special Education Part 2? You can find our information here, email us, call us, visit our website, and keep watching this video series for more information about your rights as a parent or guardian of a child with a disability. The DC Developmental Disabilities Council is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $527,570 with 100% funding by ACL HHS. Council efforts are those of the grantee and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.